Hey everybody, welcome to my video Introduction to Exponents. And exponents are those little numbers that are on top of usually another given number. And before I get started, I want to go over some terminology that you're going to have to know when you're dealing with exponents. And the first term I want to go over is square. Whenever you square a number, that means that there is a 2 exponent. So let's say, for example, that we had the number 1 squared. That means we have the number 1 with a 2 exponent. Another way you could say this is 1 raised to the second power, or 1 squared is the more commonly used term for this. And whenever you have a 2 exponent, that means that you multiply the number by itself 2 times. So 1 squared is 1 multiplied by itself 2 times. 1 times 1 is equal to 1. 1 squared is equal to 1. Let's go over another example. Let's say we had 2 squared. That means we multiply the number 2 by itself 2 times. 2 times 2 is equal to 4. 2 squared is equal to 4. Let's go over a negative number. Let's say we had negative 3 squared. Negative 3 squared is negative 3 multiplied by itself 2 times. Negative 3 times negative 3 is a positive 9. A negative times a negative gives you a positive number. Let's say we had a negative outside of the parentheses. Let's say we had negative 4 squared. That means we have a positive 4 squared. So we have a positive 4 multiplied by itself 2 times, and we have a negative in front of the parentheses. So positive 4 times positive 4 is equal to 16, and we have a negative in front. So we also need to put the negative in front of the 16. So negative outside the parentheses times a positive 4 squared is equal to negative 16. Alright, so I think you get the idea on squaring a number. So now let's go over the second term that you're going to see a lot whenever you're dealing with exponents, which is cube. Whenever you cube a number, that means there is a 3 in the exponent. So let's say we had the number 1 cubed. That means there's a 3 in the exponent. Or you could say 1 raised to the third power. Sorry, 1 raised to the third power. And if there's a 3 in the exponent, that means you need to multiply the number by itself 3 times. So 1 times 1 times 1 is going to be equal to 1. 1 cubed is equal to 1. Let's say we had 2 cubed. That means we need to multiply the number 2 by itself 3 times. So we have 2 times 2, which is equal to 4. 4 times 2 is equal to 8. So 2 cubed is equal to 8. Let's go over a negative number. Let's say we have negative 3 cubed. That means we need to take the number negative 3 and multiply it by itself 3 times. Negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3. A negative 3 times a negative 3 is going to give us a positive 9. And a positive 9 times a negative 3 is going to give us a negative 27. So negative 3 cubed is going to give us a negative 27 answer. I think that gives us a good idea on how you square a number or how you cube a number. Let's go over another example. Let's say we had a 4 in our exponent. Let's say we had the number 2 to the 4th power. That means you need to multiply the number 2 by itself 4 times. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So if you multiply 2 times 2 is equal to 4. 4 times 2 is equal to 8. 8 times 2 is equal to 16. So 2 to the 4th power is equal to 16. Alright, so I hope you get the idea on exponents. Let's go over a couple more examples that might confuse you a little bit, and that's when you have a 0 as an exponent. Let's say we had 3 raised with a 0 exponent. Anytime you see a 0 in the exponent, the answer is always going to be 1. So 3 to the 0 is equal to 1. Let's say we had the number 1000 with a 0 exponent. 1000 raised to the 0 power is equal to 1. Let's say we had a negative 5000 with a 0 in the exponent. That is also equal to positive 1. Anything with a 0 in the exponent is going to be equal to 1. I think you get the idea of that by now. Let's say you have the number 1 as the exponent. Let's say we had the number 5 raised to the first power. The 1 exponent is completely unnecessary. Basically what you're saying is that you have the number 5 and you're multiplying it 1 time. So 5 to the first power is equal to 5. The 1 exponent is completely unnecessary, as you can see from this example, but sometimes it's a little confusing for some people, and I hope this gave you a better idea on how you deal with exponents. In my next video, I'm going to go over negative exponents and exponents on top of fractions, so stay tuned for that. I really hope you're enjoying these, and I will see you in my next one.